tuo uzuncarum ungularum delectatque contremescit me. Intra, intro.
Under pressure. You ever have prostate pressure?
Do I ever have prostate pressure?
I was talking to Bill mostly.
Okay.
Yeah, holy fuck. It's like, you know what it looks like near the mouth of a volcano?
No, tell me.
Fucking covered in hemorrhoids.
Hola, Los Elmers.
Bienvenidos, Elmers. We are in Ciudad de Mexico, and it's your favorite boys, Bill,
Hola, it's Sweet Bill.
Michael,
¿Qué tal?
Que Paso, Rob.
And we're back at it to finish off the Blitz, and we'll be moving straight from Halloween into Dia de los Muertos, which is what brings us down to my father's motherland, I guess. But yeah, it's fucking cool as shit to be here. Didn't ever expect 13th and Elm to take us on the road.
All over the globe.
You know, sponsorship has really done wonders for our pod, and I'm glad we can come to your father's motherland.
Yeah, my father's motherland. I would be excited to say that my grandparents would be really excited. Me, los abuelos.
Honestly,
but better.
Food has been amazing. Loving it.
Yep.
Loving it. And yeah, it's just a good change of scenery. Just to be here, you know, it's nice and warm. It's actually pretty cold back where I don't know where we call home.
Yeah, let's. We don't need.
We don't need to delve any deeper than that. I
freaks
mean, we don't need people to know we live in Greenland. But I've said too much already.
That's fucking hilarious. Did you do that on purpose?
No, things fall out of my mouth.
We'll talk about that later because that's really funny.
But, you know, we are finishing up the Blitz, the last 5 films for October 2022. And the first of them was my pick, my vampire pick, The Hunger.
Your actual vampire
My
pick?
actual vampire pick. All the
Oh.
other films were not vampire picks. I think a couple of them might have had something to do with vampires, like tangentially, but most of them were heavily based on the theme at hand.
Right.
Right. And ironically, this movie also was heavily based on the theme at hand, or would you say no?
I would say it's about vampires, and it's pretty boring, and I wouldn't recommend watching it. Like, it's not very good.
So this is the first movie of the month that I had to watch in 2 parts. Because, you know, I don't like doing that, and I only had to do it once, and it was for this, and it was because, I mean, I started it later than usual, but I was kind of confused and bored, and I was like, I'm too tired for this because I heard really good things about this movie. I'm not paying attention. I need to go to bed and watch this tomorrow. And then I watched it tomorrow and was like, no, this movie's just not that great. I thought
There's not even really a lot of story, right?
No, it's kind of like, oh, you're a vampire. Yeah, you live forever, but you're not young forever. So that's annoying for 90 minutes.
Yeah, and we like you feed off of youth, not really blood per se. Even though like you
It's an
draw
interesting
blood,
take.
but not with fangs. You have these weird like ankh pendants that you like wear, or
There's like a pseudo
brooches?
Egyptian sort of like mythology, which you see a lot, and like we saw it
the
in
beginning with like
Sleepwalkers.
flashbacks.
You see it in
yeah,
Anne
sure.
Rice's stuff too, and just it's their own take on vampires. And again, it's just like boring and drawn out, and it's like, who cares?
It's an interesting concept, though. Like the quote was pretty good. Like, we promised eternal life, not eternal youth. And we get later we get a scene of a bunch of really just old fucking vampires in coffins, and we don't see them, but they're obviously alive, but just in agony.
Yeah,
so
just
it's like
withering
an
away.
interesting concept, but yeah, it was slow and didn't build up to anything really.
I thought with Bowie it would be like sexy and like.
Oh,
it is
I was so
kind
excited
of,
for sexy
like,
Bowie.
like a little bit, but it's not really though.
And you got it for like what,
Ye-
10 minutes?
You know what's a better and sexier movie
Maybe
that's
20.
about vampires than this and isn't even really about vampires or even that good is Life Force. I'd rather
It's
watch
kind of like the
that
same
movie.
but different. I know what you mean as far as like Life Force and like the vampirism portrayal in that and this kind of. It's parallel. It's different. It's the same. It's different, but it's better than this, and it wasn't a great movie.
Which is why this film has David Bowie and that film has some naked 19-year-old woman. And like,
Okay.
give me the David Bowie film.
But give me Mathilda May and Toby Hooper any day, right?
Yeah.
I don't care about her, and I'd still rather watch that.
Toby Hooper made your favorite horror movie of all time, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Ooh, I don't think that's accurate. I think
I thought
that's
you said
more
it
of
was
a-
required viewing in Texas public schools growing
I
up.
don't think I said that. I think it was
Elementary
more of
school?
just like a kind of a middling film that's held on a pedestal, but we don't need to get into that.
Yeah, let's talk more about your masterpiece, The Hunger. Anyway, take it away.
I said this wasn't a good film and I didn't enjoy it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a lot else to say about this.
I really didn't have anything to say,
There's
but
not any
you've covered
good
it all.
like transformation scenes. It's not sexy. It's not funny.
There's not really very much gore.
No.
The great opening scene, awesome. Bella Lugosi
With the gore
is
and the
dead.
monkey and
Yeah.
shit and
Bela
the song.
Lugosi
Yeah, it
is
started
dead. Yeah, with
out
the
strong.
house.
I was like, fuck yeah,
And
this is going to be tight.
And they had Bowie in that part of the movie.
Yeah.
But like you
True.
said, Bowie's out like 15, 20 minutes in, and he doesn't come back. And he's like one of the main
Draws.
draws to the film.
And it's like supposed to be sexy, but it's like not really, even though there's like a love triangle and like all this stuff. It just,
This wasn't
they
the sexiest
tried to do
movie
a
of the
different vampire
week.
movie and it just didn't land.
It wasn't even the sexiest vampire movie of the week.
Bland.
It was bland.
What do you want to rate it there, Bill?
I would give this a hard 60.
Hard 60. Wow, generous. How about you, Rob?
50.
50. I gave it a 49.
Oh, damn.
This fucking was really not very good. Susan Sarandon's pretty and naked in it. Bowie's naked, or not
Points
naked,
for
but
that,
pretty
points
in
for
it.
that.
And
For a little bit, then it gets old.
it's not. Yeah, and then he gets old, and they tried some new vampire stuff, but overall it was flat. And maybe I wouldn't have given it a 49 if it wasn't the 27th movie of the month.
Dude,
But
imagine this film
palate fatigue.
I had high
directed
expectations.
by Guillermo del Toro, and I watched the shit out of that.
Oh yeah.
But it has none of that, and it's
No.
just bland.
true.
So move on.
Next pick was my pick. It's the movie I've seen that the other two haven't, or what we've been referring to as The Force Watch.
Ah, yes.
This is the 28th movie. Man, I tell you, this will be a theme that we come back to a lot because the end of this month was fucking taxing. I don't know if you boys are happy to be done with it, but fuck. We watched this movie, 1980, George C. Scott, Changling. I'd seen it before. I'd actually watched it even earlier this year, but it ended up being the one I picked for this movie because I've been wanting you guys to watch it a lot. And go ahead, talk about it. What do you think?
It was okay. I had pretty high expectations for this one as well. It's been on my list for a while. It's one of those where I keep almost clicking it and it never happens. So I'm glad you picked it. I don't think it held up quite as well as I wanted it to. I still enjoyed it, and I see that it had a lot of influence on things that came out after it, but there was some stuff that was supposed to be creepy that just wasn't. The voice, the ghost voice, was not creepy at all. It was like almost silly. You got a dead kid pretty early, so
It's a brutal opening.
yeah, that's the
Pretty dark.
The wife and kid getting
Ran
killed.
over by a jump truck, semi truck.
yeah, and then haunted mansion. They bring over a bunch of mediums and stuff, which was like kind of weird.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's the big twist,
Yeah.
right?
There's a big twist. And, this movie, I think, I don't think it's helped by the fact that it came out within like 18 months of The Shining. Because there's kind of some of those like artist moves into a haunted place to seek inspiration on his next work and ends up communicating with something
Right.
paranormal. It's not exactly the same. He's not a murderer. He's not there with his family. But it is like family drama. It's isolation.
Right.
It's talking to ghosts. I mean, The Shining is a ghost movie, right? It's got
Right.
more to it, but it's a ghost film. So, and that's a masterpiece, like Kubrick. So
Yeah.
this movie, I think, flew under the radar a little bit, being a British film or the Canadian film, actually, I think. But and I'm not sure if every audience today would love it, but I still do a lot, and I'm happy that you gave it a shot and that you did see its influence on a lot of other iconic horror. And I don't know.
I definitely didn't hate it.
Yeah,
I mean, the
I didn't get
acting
that
was-
impression.
Yeah,
but
the acting was good. Like the score and cinematography and all that stuff was good.
yeah, the sets and location are fucking sick. Like,
Yeah.
everything is like real.
really pretty.
Yeah. No, it's like worth a watch, I think. I'm not really crazy about George C. Scott in general. I don't think he's a great actor, and I haven't seen him in a ton of stuff, but he's serviceable in this. He's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's like a lot. There's like I get like a lot of shades of I don't know, like a Stephen King movie, and then like you guys kind of talked about The Shining as well, and also I think Mike Kelly, you mentioned this while I was watching it or we were watching it, Ringu
Mhm.
a little bit, and also just Devil's Backbone too, which we watched earlier for the pod.
Yeah.
Just that sort of like
We've done a lot of
disquieting ghost spirits
lately.
and stuff. And I did like this twist, and I didn't know that this was going to be like an actual like changeling, like a stolen child
Yeah.
kind of. I thought it was like a creature feature, like sort of like a splice or something like that.
I also
And I
thought
think
it
you
was
guys-
a creature feature.
Yeah, you kind of had that expectation because even like
Preconceived,
10
yeah.
minutes before you're like, this is a creature feature, right? And I'm like, no, this is my hunting pig. You're like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. Let's watch it. But yeah, I don't think a lot of people know what it's about. Even the people who've heard about it maybe don't know what it's about. And the
Yeah,
titles
I
doesn't
didn't.
give a lot away. And
No.
it's a slow burn. Like the movie doesn't really reveal what's going on. It's a genuine twist, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. But I don't know. Overall, like, decent.
Yeah.
Like especially for like kind of an older film with an actor that I don't know. I've only ever seen him in Firestarter, and I mentioned this to you, Michael, where he kind of like I don't know. He plays like a Native American actor character, and yeah,
With an eye patch?
yeah, and with an eye, yeah, it's not, and it's like a Stephen King, but it's still not great. It hasn't aged well. But beyond all that, yeah, decent pick. Interesting.
So this one is kind of a strange one because the screenplay for this is based off of. This is a wild thing. It's events that were claimed to have had happened to a writer named Russell Hunter. So this is not a book that Russell Hunter wrote. This is also not a biography or autobiography. This is, according to a writer, a published author, Russell Hunter, in his like memoirs, something that he personally experienced while living at the Henry Treat Rogers Mansion in the Cheeseman Park neighborhood of Denver, Colorado in the late 1960s. He also served as the co-writer for this film. So he
Damn.
claims to have stumbled upon an addict with a journal that had like the confession of like a changeling to an inheritance of an estate. It was actually an inheritance of an estate, not the governor or whatever it is in the movie. I can't remember. This is my pick, and we've watched so many, but
he's
it's the
like
governor, right? Or the
he's
governess?
He's the governor.
Yeah.
Or senator.
Senator.
He's senator.
One
Right.
of those.
Yeah, and so it's a weird movie based off of a weird story that wasn't even like written down, that may or may not have happened.
Definitely didn't happen.
Definitely did not happen. But it's cool, and it's one of these like in the 80s there was, and for a long time after, I guess, it was quite popular, especially for filmmakers on a budget, to make their films in Canada, because if they could cast Canadian actors, they would get credit or
Big tax
tax
credit.
breaks
Yeah.
to film in Canada and release in Canada. So this is one of those Canadian filmed co-productions with America. It's definitely a cult movie. People do love it. It is considered like a quintessential horror ghost story, but a lot of people in my generation, our generation, haven't seen it. So
Yeah.
I'm happy you guys gave it a good watch. I don't want to talk too much about the plot. We kind of gave away some of the twist, but like
yeah.
it's best watched cold, I think, and it's even still served cold. Not going to be for everybody because it is slow,
Yeah.
and it's a ghost story.
True.
It's not like a scary ghost. It's not like an American or an
boo.
English ghost. It's kind of like a
sad
Japanese or like a
Yes.
Eastern Asian ghost story. And I think that's also one of the things that makes this unique is it was one of the first post like that Abbott and Costello era of like the, I don't know, in the 30s, 40s, 50s, American ghost stories were really like comedic and like kind of goofy. Like no one took them seriously. Like nobody started making scary ghost movies until like kind of the English started doing that like gothic, like Whistle and I'll Come to You, BBC Christmas horror movies. I'm not even joking about the Christmas thing because it's
No.
always, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, Christmas and ghosts like go hand in hand.
And they
Oh,
really
yeah.
started to become scary again in like on film. Obviously in books and stuff, but by the time film came around, I think ghosts were hard to pull off, and there was always like comedic in American cinema.
It's like 13 Ghosts and stuff and all that.
But that's even hokey, and like if you look back at
It's a
who's the
remake.
guy who did that? I gotta forget his name, but he always had like gimmicks. Like, 'cause remember if you watch like 13th Ghost, it's like, oh, and like Spookovision, and it was always like these weird like headgear contraptions and like 3D glasses and shit you'd have to wear in like 1962. They're always like
It's like Scooby-Doo shit.
it's
honestly.
always gimmicky stuff. Yeah.
Do you guys want to get do you go to Taqueria over there?
No, because the dude's coming back around with the elote, and I want to get some of that shit on the elote on the stick.
Oh, yeah, give me some of that.
The cart. Like, if you guys want to go, we can hold down. We can talk about the next movie while you put an order in or
No.
whatever. The window,
No, the window. What on the street? Like, what are you talking about?
the fucking window, like right there
The
next to
stall?
the entrance.
Yeah,
You can
okay.
go to the window, and they take an order there for the street
We'll finish
vendors.
the pod, but I just it smells good. I'm hungry.
We'll get that elote guy to come back.
Yeah, can you do that? I can't.
Well, I'm not gonna leave my spot, but I'll keep my eyes open.
Okay.
Oh, whatever, dude.
What do you rate The Changeling?
I'm
If you had
probably
to.
way
What'd you
higher
do?
than you guys for a lot of reasons. At the top of that will be sentimentality, but 88.
Wow. That is more than me.
67.
I give it a 66.
So you guys
Yeah.
give it just a few more points. Well, maybe not. You gave 50, but you give it it's just as good as The Hunger. You enjoyed it just as much, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, 6 points more out of 100.
That's, I mean, okay.
I-
But you also enjoyed The Hunger more than me. Like, it's all
Yeah.
relative. Like, I'm not telling you. I'm just trying to get scope of it. I wouldn't have expected those to be within a letter grade. It sounds like they are.
I had high expectations of both, and we're let down by both
That's fair.
in different ways.
Rob?
He said
67.
67. Okay.
Final thoughts?
Yeah. I don't have a lot to say. I love this movie. Check it out. 1980. It's
Yeah.
a little dated in some ways, and it's slow. It's not for everybody, and I
It's
knew
pretty
that.
slow.
Scary chair.
Scary chair.
Scary
Spooky-
ball.
Scary ball. Silly voice.
Spooky pianos. George C. Scott does play piano in that fucking movie. That's
He does.
dope.
That is
That's
decent.
That,
He's
It is
that's
dope.
dope. That's
impressive.
dope. That's tight. It's dope. That's fun. Okay, well, speaking of really good movies that we've been meaning to watch for a long time that we've had high expectations for, let's talk about your pick.
Oh, yeah, I don't even have to look. I know that you're talking about Visitor Q.
It's the only pick you had this week.
Yeah,
And you
look,
still managed. You still managed
you
to
guys.
fucking. Well, you actually didn't pick the worst movie this week.
Yes. So you guys even talked earlier about how, this is referred to as a force watch, and I kind of.
Who
was the
referred to
one
it as that?
I'm the one that referred to it as that,
Who came up with it?
and I knew because I knew my pick was gonna have to be. I couldn't think of a well-known good movie that I have seen that at least that both of you have.
I took a
not
shot.
seen.
You know, The
Yeah.
Changeling. It wasn't necessarily your guys' favorite, but it's a good
Well,
movie. And
I
then you hit a
called
fucking
it-
home run for me. Like, Only Lovers Left Alive is
I
the best
called
movie
it-
of the year.
I called it Force
don't even need to do the
Watch,
Elmies.
and I had that idea on my mind, and I like this movie, Like I didn't pick a movie I didn't like. I wouldn't do that. But yeah, this movie is not a good film, but I love it, and it is really fucked up. It is disturbing content. Warning: if you listen to these movies, or watch these movies, which you probably don't, to be honest, but this one is brutal. It basically doesn't really have a plot. Kind of just follows a pretty fucked up family in Japan, and they are introduced to a visitor. It's Visitor Q from the title, if you didn't know.
Who the fuck is that?
Who?
The guy with the red jacket.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, go on.
Do you know him?
No.
Okay. And this new guy comes in after assaulting the father, just shows up at the house. There's a bunch of disgusting, perverted, violent things happening within the family and at the house, and the visitor just moves in. He just kind of walks in, takes a seat, starts having meals, talks with the dad a lot, even though he hit him with a rock twice, which is like kind of how they met. And this movie is, honestly, it's listed as a comedy first on IMDb. It's like comedy, drama, horror is like, I think, how it went. And there's some funny parts, but you have to have a really fucked up sense of humor. There's lots of like weird lactation, like a guy literally holding up an umbrella while getting lactated upon.
And like a cartoonish over the top way,
it's
not like
over
even
the
like
top.
kink, but like
It's like the floor is covered by like a
was like-
quarter inch
yeah.
of breast milk.
standing breast milk.
And there is a scene where a corpse is raped and poop comes out of it, and he thinks it's a miracle, and like that part is funny, but it's like hard. Like I described that, and I'm sounding like an interesting guy right now because I'm just saying that
It's first time
this
for
is
everything.
funny. But like, you know, I mean, like it's presented in a silly way. He thinks it's a miracle, and then he sees that it's shit, and he says the most famous line of the movie. He goes, "It's not a miracle, it's shit," and it's fucking weird as fuck. And I knew you guys weren't gonna like it, but this is a movie that I do like because I like disturbing stuff, and it's not the easiest movie to watch. It really gets under your skin, and that's what I seek out when I seek out fucked up horror, especially J-horror. So I was gonna make you guys watch this at some point.
You did. You succeeded.
And this is Miike, by the way. This is Takashi Miike. He's a very well-known director. He has a couple really like fucked up, almost like filth films.
This came
and
out the
this is one
same
of them.
year as Ichi, actually. The same year
Yeah.
he put this out.
And Ichi's
And this was-
very more well-known and
The-
well-liked.
This was
as far as I
after
know.
Audition. Also, Audition came out in 1999. So
Yeah.
he's been on a major scale at this point already. He's
Yeah.
very prolific. He makes a lot of films.
This was obviously pretty low budget compared to some of his other ones. I don't know, it kind of seemed like he had enough money to be like, I want to make a fucked up comedy, and he did. What do you guys think? Do you have any positive things to say? Or do you want to rate it and move on, or what?
I'll say that like I thank you for picking this film. I no, honestly, like part of this is like we share things that we enjoy or we
Yeah.
think we might enjoy, and it's part of the friendship and like the like cinephile kind of stuff.
And I've probably been talking about this
You
movie
have.
around you for
mentioned
years.
a lot. And like, so I want to put that out there, like as a friend, like thank you, Bill. Like I appreciate it, and like thank you for sharing something that you enjoy, even though you knew it wasn't like a good like quality film or whatever. That said,
Thank you.
this
for
film is garbage, and it's boring, and it's
Okay.
not funny or
Okay.
sexy or graphic or gratuitous. It's just really boring, and it's a
Kinda sexy.
slog, and it's not sexy.
There's big
And-
nips, and if you like cork,
Yeah,
like
sure.
wine
There's
cork
big like
sized
wine
nips.
cork nips and lactation and poop and like raping a corpse and like all that sounds like gross and graphic and like it's just dumb. And like this movie honestly just makes me think like Takashi is like not for me, and I'm not gonna watch any more of his movies. I've kind of lost interest in J-horror with most of your picks over the course of the month, Bill. Like honestly, like
Well, don't let my J-horror picks ruin
I'm just
J-horror.
saying, it's like everything that you talk about, like what you like these films, and then we watch them. I'm like, I hate all of this, and it's okay because like I watch dumb vampire films that I make you watch, so it's all about like taste and like palette and all that. But I really didn't. It wasn't even like an actively like this. I hate this. It's like, God, okay, it's still going on. Cool. I look at my phone.
Yeah,
and it's still on. Okay, cool.
Hating it would have been a luxury.
It would have been
at some
more of
points.
an active like position.
yeah.
Instead of just like letting it happen like you're a passenger in a car.
Yeah,
So
you
that's
said that
my
this isn't
opinion
the
of it.
easiest. You said this isn't the easiest movie to watch. What I would say is it is among the easiest movies to not watch, and I don't mean like to turn off and like to fucking walk away from. I just mean like in the sense that like if you want to put something on that's you're gonna really struggle to be interested in or like care about or pay attention to. Like I was trying to pay attention and I kept finding myself creating reasons to like look somewhere else that didn't have that in front of me. Like it wasn't graphic. It was like, and I'd say this in a movie that was filled with nudity and poop and cum and
necrophilia,
necrophilia.
incest.
It was just like,
which makes it sound crazy. And it's mostly like it's some dude hitting his mom. Guy gets hit with a rock a couple times. Yeah, there's a lot of like close-ups with like a handheld camcorder.
Oh yeah,
That's really
Shots are
boring.
Nuts.
it was like, yeah, some like pretty lame, long like sex scenes that are both
Blurred
like
out.
Not
All the dicks are
all
blurred
the dicks
out.
are blurred out.
What's up with that?
Yeah, I mean that's arguably the worst part of the
It
movie.
is. It maybe.
For sure.
Arguably, definitely. Arguably.
What I will say is this wasn't the worst movie of the month. It wasn't the worst movie of the week, but it should be. And the only reason it isn't is because of sentimentalities and expectations.
Because we actually hated a different film.
But this movie is a movie that I heard about probably around like 2003, not long after it came out. High on mushrooms in Southern Oregon on a rafting trip with a friend's family. And I think I told the story when we were doing the selection show. But I am really happy I watched this. I didn't enjoy it. I don't think it's good, and I won't watch it again. But I am happy I watched it because it's been on my list for fucking 20 years.
Gotta at least be a tick.
It's a tick. It's in 20 years. I've been talking about and watching or like keeping my eyes open to find this movie. Tried to download it a couple times like around that time when I was in like 2004 and never got a good rip.
Torn shit.
Yeah, and just been overwhelmed with choices and paralyzed by fucking all the options I have in the world. So I didn't get to it, and now I have, and won't be doing it again. I give it a 38.
38.
20.
20. I give this a 75. I like this movie. I've seen it 3 or 4 times now, and I'll see it again in my life. That's just how it is sometimes.
Just how it is.
Do you like jack off to these when you watch them? Or like, what is it about them that you like? Like, what do you do? Because you're not watching them, right?
No, I am. That's like weird, disturbing, fucked up shit.
Yeah, so do I. That's why we do this.
What about this one, though?
We do this shit together. And you know I like weird and fucked up shit.
Yeah. But even
And I think like when we watch Miri and Dora, it's like, this just is not good. Right? Like, did you love that? Like, would you give Cannibal a 75?
No, I'd give Cannibal a 60-something.
Would you give Melancholy to Angle a fucking 60-something?
Yeah.
Why? I watched it with you.
I
You
know.
bitched the entire time. You didn't enjoy it. It wasn't good. There's no plot. You can't tell me anything that happened in that movie that's not just like that couldn't be summarized by a screenshot from a Google image search about that movie. I'm just asking, not in a criticizing way, like I guess maybe I didn't understand the scale because as somebody who's watched those films with you and has heard your opinion of them after the fact and heard you talk about them.
It's not a good movie, but it was gross and it grossed me out.
But you would not say that you would watch it again.
That one I wouldn't watch again.
Is it because it's
of
like
the
3 hours long?
length. Yeah. If they cut out some shit and it was 90 minutes, I'd watch that again.
So I don't think that the Miike movies are really that much better. That's unfair. Miike makes actually some really good movies.
Yeah.
And like he made fucking
Debatable.
no, dude, he made like
Have you
13
seen Ichi?
Assassins.
Yeah, I've seen Ichi and I've seen
Seen
Audition.
He said 13 Assassins.
Oh yeah, I know you don't like Audition.
Don't you like
which is
that?
So good.
I haven't seen 13.
13.
It's really
yeah.
good.
But anyway, he makes like films also. Marion
Yeah.
Dora has never seen a film studio.
No.
No.
Stop making movies. For the 80th time, Miriam Dora, if you're listening, stop making films.
So I don't know. I just thought maybe they were. I don't know. That's just interesting. Sorry to sidetrack. But anyway, the
No,
next
you're
movie that we
fine.
watched, Bill did the last one, so Rob did the next one.
Is this the last film?
No, we had one more, but this was your last pick.
Oh, this was my historical pick, I think.
Period
Or
piece.
Period piece.
Period base.
Same thing. Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter.
Hammer film, right?
Hammer film.
Hammer film.
Distributed by Paramount in the United States.
yeah.
76, 74?
This is pretty well loved by fans of the Hammer movies. It
It's
seems
a highly
like.
rated, like,
Yeah.
cult British Hammer film, yeah.
And it's like a not Van Helsing, but he is Van Helsing in a roundabout way, and the vampires kind of have their own rules, which is fun for lore. But yeah, I don't know. It's what you're expecting. It's a guy, handsome, blonde hunk is
Really handsome.
like going
was
around in
handsome.
an open blouse on horseback and hunting down bloodsuckers and saving maidens.
It's all supposed to look like the Romanian countryside and stuff like that. It's
I
like
think they-
Kind of feels like a fairy tale.
Did they actually go to Romania for that?
for filming.
Yeah, for Kronos.
I'm not sure. I think you might be confusing because we watched Elvira's Haunted Hills.
That's right.
the other
That
day. Yeah.
was in
Yeah.
Transylvania.
So this
I think it's in England because I think we were like watching it. We're like, that's in like fucking West Country or something.
Yeah.
Cork. Yeah.
yeah. But a lot of those Hammer films from that era all kind of have that, like you said, the open blouse, the handsome man, he's on horseback, or there's a lot of like drawn carriages or
Well,
top
just
hats
English
and
actors.
like coats and with
Yeah.
tails and stuff like that. So this movie has that aesthetic. It's pretty. It's short. It's quick. It's not bad. It's actually.
It's like 80 minutes. 88
It's
minutes.
actually pretty good. But I'm going to tell everybody at home, Elmers, this is the second to last movie of the month. I didn't give this very much of my attention. If I'm being completely honest, I got the names of the plot and I just kind of fucking zonked out. Honestly, I partied the night before and my brain was just like not consuming media as fast as my eyes were. So I watched this movie, but I don't have a lot to say about it. The lead male and the lead female were both absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, and I liked all like the tavern scenes and like the locals shouting over fucking like their beer about the outsiders coming and they're bringing the dangers of the night with them and shit like that. Like I don't know, it was just like this is Halloween themed. Fuck it.
Well, he was just dressed like an admiral. He had like bright, like red,
captain,
like
if you would.
filtery and like everything. Like I'm just saying, like he had a very ornate, colorful, costume and everything. But yeah, man, same story. Also went pretty hard in the paint the night before and just.
Honestly, if
the
we're
movie
being
was on and we were
if we're being
part of
honest,
it.
too.
Yeah.
if we're being honest, we went pretty hard the night before that as well.
And the night before that.
So yeah, this was a rough movie that I watched on the couch with Rob the next day in the fucking puddle of ourselves eating candy and
Just
ice cream and
cuddled
Oreos.
up, eating
Yeah.
candy with Cher.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much same. I mean, this movie was pretty. It kind of felt like a fairy tale. It wasn't very good. It was also hard to pay attention to. I remember doing a triple throat slash really fast in a bar and being like, whoa, what the fuck? But it
There was
wasn't great. It was
more
kinda,
gore and boobs in this than I thought. Like it was sexier and gorier than I thought it was going to
it
be.
was sexy.
But
Yeah,
wasn't amazing.
both of the leads were extremely attractive. The mom looked like fucking the grandpa Sawyer in from Texas Chainsaw with all that fucking shit on her.
Yeah.
There was like a fucking weird twist. I feel like there was sword fighting,
Yeah, because
all
Captain
that
Kronos
dumb
is apparently like
shit.
a world-renowned swordsman.
and he didn't.
And he's got,
seem
like, a
that
katana?
good. He didn't
Yeah, he had
really
a
seem
katana.
that good at what he did. I tell you, like the subtitle is like the only fucking whatever that vampires actually fear, and like once he actually had to face one that wasn't like a dumbass, he like it was very difficult, and I was like, really, they're scared of this little fucker, kind of. I don't know. He wasn't intimidating at all.
He really wasn't.
Um,
Honestly, the vampires weren't overly intimidating
They
either.
weren't.
no, they didn't put a lot of effort into anything.
But it was like a fun enough watch for like an older, like whatever, throwback 70s film.
Didn't hate it, but also wasn't giving it my full
Forgettable.
attention.
Yeah.
Was it the worst movie of the week?
No, it was not. In fact, I'll give it a 60.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, 60 sounds right.
Sure.
Sure.
Let's move on to the worst movie of the week. I mean, last movie of the week.
Last movie of the week
All right,
was
guys, really,
no
how-
one's pick.
How hard are we
really.
going in on this? Like, are we going to, like, do I need to sit up? Because,
I don't think we really need to talk about it.
We
It's
can
just,
really rail
like,
into it, or we can
We don't need to.
just
Doesn't
not
deserve
even.
that. Really.
It was
It's
offensive.
It's a dumb film and
There's
a
one-
pour into a franchise.
yeah. This,
And hopefully it won't be the end and they'll reboot it.
somebody should give this a shot in 5, 10, 15, 20 fucking years. Don't continue it. Do something new. Do something different.
Whatever story they're
Do
trying
whatever
to do,
you want to
end
do. Just don't do this. Do something new.
it. Let someone else have it.
Just get this taste out of my mouth.
Yeah. We watched Halloween Ends.
Yeah, what was the
and-
movie?
And it was
How-
just like really disappointing and almost aggravating at points. and
Offensive.
It
We're
was
not even.
offensive.
I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I'm not like some super fan of Halloween and Mike Myers. Like,
I'm a real John Carpenter's Halloween is one of my favorite movies of all time. I
But-
watched it on Halloween.
I was like offended, like I was watching someone else's like
Oh, yeah, no.
faith
I'm gonna
be
get that
like,
elote real
like
quick. I'll be right back. Go get
yeah,
that
yeah,
over.
go get that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you give me like a couple like pastor tacos if you're over there?
I'll be right back.
Okay. But yeah, it was like watching like a friend's like I don't know whatever thing be disrespected, and it was upsetting, and it was also not quick.
Yeah, it was like I had raised this dog for 15 years,
And then your dad
and
made
then
you
David
slaughter it.
Gordon Green came over and beat it to death in front of me with a baseball bat.
Wow.
And then flicked me off and left.
That's wild.
I'll give this a 3.
Is that...
Okay.
it's going to be a couple minutes on tacos, but here's a elote. I only got...
Fuck you.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
what did I just hear? Talking about part 3
Halloween
of
Ends,
this
yeah.
is kind of like Season of the Witch part 3. Like everyone hated it. What did you
I
say?
No.
think like this is far worse.
They could have ended it in so many ways, and they picked the absolute worst avenue they could.
I'll give this a 40. It doesn't really even have great kills.
What is a kill? Name 4 kills from this movie.
I'm not actually giving it a 6, by the way. I'm kind of being facetious. I'll give it a 30.
Mikhail?
I have 30 written down. It deserves less
Lower.
even,
It
but
deserves a 6.
but like I'll give it 30. Like
Okay.
But people got killed in it.
it has a Halloween title.
Yep.
Mike Myers and Laurie Strode are both in it. You
Those
would
are-
think that
those are
maybe they
facts.
would have a huge showdown for the final movie or whatever. If this is something that you want to watch, check it out. We're going to avoid a lot of spoilers because it did just come out. And I don't think we've said anything that you haven't already heard. If you are interested in seeing this movie, chances are you've either seen it or you've had your ears and eyes to the reviews and kind of the murmurs around it. It's not been well received. And taking it from 3 guys who watch a lot of horror movies, I didn't like this fucking movie at all. In fact, I was angry. If you were watching this movie with me as a casual or neutral audience member, I would be a distraction because I
would've-
was yelling at it.
Depending on the circumstances, I could see myself walking out of a movie theater during this.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. If I paid money for that,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd probably leave just because like I'm not interested in seeing the rest of it. But regardless, that was just such a what a deflated end to the month. So
Insulting.
all in all, I feel like a good October. What do you guys think?
It was a good October.
We got to travel a lot and get to do that with my best friends and watch fucking horror movie every single day and talk about it, man. Like, October was fucking great. Some of our movie choices could have been better. Some of them were outstanding. Some of them really exceeded expectations. At least for me.
Bangers.
And I walked away with at least one new like favorite like all-timer. And that's more than I can ask for. I also got to revisit like Ernest Scared Stupid, which I loved. I did like Stanford and Snowtown.
Yes.
Baby Jane and fucking Changling were fun to go back to. Like,
Baby
this was a good
Jane.
month. A good month, man. It was fun. Not every movie was great. I don't want the sour taste to spoil the whole thing, but you're right. Fucking
The
Halloween
worst-
on Halloween.
The worst movie we watched was still one of the most fun nights of the month. for
True.
me,
That's true.
It's true. It was a fun night.
which might be the reason why this movie wasn't rated in single digits.
I don't know, man. If you had to watch that alone,
Sober.
I don't know if I would have watched the whole thing, like for fucking real.
you would have had to. You
Yeah.
would've.
Like,
I
without-
guess if I
without the
had
pot,
not, if
though.
I didn't know you guys, like I, didn't have any, like good friends that were in the horror, and that I was on my own. I don't know if I would have finished that movie.
Dude, sitting there watching, because the three of us watched this together because it's out now, but like watching it with you and like in that first scene, like literally I think we were less than 3 minutes in the movie and you're like, something's off, right?
Yeah,
And it wasn't even about the story. It was, you're just like,
It's like,
this just-
something
is this
didn't
a
feel right.
fake out? Is this a red herring for the
It's like a
opening?
soap opera.
Like, what's going on? Why is
Yeah.
it looking like what's going on? And like so far in, like 20, 30 plus minutes even, I was like, they are fucking with us, right? Like it's
Yeah, you
they're
did say that.
going to
Yeah.
do something to fuck with. They're going to take a big chance, and I'm not gonna say I'm loving it, but we're definitely not supposed to feel the way we feel right now. But that feeling never left. And I don't want to talk too much more about this movie, but it wasn't great. These tacos. I'm gonna get these tacos. Dude, that
Yeah, get those
fucking dude
tacos.
is like pissed me off.
Well, okay.
The guy
look,
that guy
Dude,
that's
it's fucking
staring at
pissing me
you.
off.
Are you
We're
sure you
just-
don't know him?
We'll go into the casino. Okay, get the tacos. Go to the casino. We got a flight to catch in like 2 days to Tucson.
Oh,
No, Phoenix.
We're gonna drive.
still
We gotta
doing
rent
that?
a car.
We're in a
But, like,
car.
well, we gotta no.
Limo.
We're
It's a
flying.
limo.
We're flying to Phoenix and we're renting a car. This doesn't
We're
matter
in
for
a
the pod.
car. But then
I'm
we're-
gonna get these tacos, but tell it. I'll be right back. I'll be get these tacos.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay, I think he's like looking past us. I think he's looking for somebody. I don't know. Fucking
All right.
weird.
Whatever,
There's
we're never
lime and
gonna
shit,
see
but they
him
only
again.
had the fucking green sauce or whatever. I know you like to.
dude,
That's a
birthday.
fuck yeah.
Birthday boy.
Actually, honestly, dude, this sounds good as fuck. But if you want to eat those, let's go get
Okay.
some food. And are we still going out, right?
Yeah, we're gonna go
Yeah,
to the
let's go out.
casino.
Fucking get some margaritas.
Margaritas.
All right. Fuck yeah, man. Well, 31 days, Halloween Blitz. That's it. Elmies, we fucking Elmers. No, are we gonna do an episode?
Elmies. Are we gonna do the
We're gonna
Elmies?
take a break,
We will take a hiatus
and we'll come back at some point.
We
Keep
will.
your eyes on I don't know, our
Keep
socials.
your ears peeled and your eyes open.
Yeah, we'll do
your nips
something. We'll
hard.
probably
And
come
your
back at
butts
least
open.
for Thanksgiving. Maybe we'll do Thanksgiving 3. We got the Elmies at the end of the year. Maybe we'll do a Christmas episode. I don't know. This isn't goodbye. It's just so long for now. And we need a break after 31 movies,
We
man.
do.
Just give us a couple weeks.
Recharge.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
And we'll say gracias.
Gracias.
Yeah, pull up with us, watch 2 films. Come on, watch 2 films. If you scared, don't come over here. 13th Elm.